Good morning Year 3, it's Thursday's reading lesson with Mrs. Smith. So today we're going to be looking at the objective, can I answer questions about the text? And we're going to continue to read a few more pages of Matthew's Dragon. So if you'd like to mute me and read this yourself, then feel free, either that or read alongside me as I read the next couple of pages. "Hold tight," said the dragon, and he took off from the bedside table and glided to the windowsill, where Matthew's mother always left the window open a few inches to let in fresh air. Outside the window, Matthew could see a silvery curved bridge stretching into the night. It arched through the air and down to the ground, glinting in the moonlight. "It's your drawbridge," he said. "Get off my back or you'll bang your head," said the dragon. Together they slipped out under the window and onto the shining bridge and ran down, down, down into the garden. When Matthew looked back, the bridge had disappeared. All he could see was the big full moon high in the sky above the dark shape of the maple tree that grew out of the lawn, and all around him enormous blades of grass, wider than his hand and higher than his head. Now that he was a very small person, it was not so easy to walk across the lawn. "Come on," said the dragon. He pushed boldly through the forest of grass, and Matthew fought his way after him. "Dragon, where are we going?" "For a little bedtime snack," the dragon said happily. Okay, we leave them with that picture there. That's from the book Matthew and the Dragon, walking their way through the grass in the garden. Okay, so we're going to answer questions today. So I'm going to look at the text I used at the beginning of the week again, and I'm going to answer a couple of questions on this, for then you to have a go at answering your questions that you've been given today. So we've read this through last time we looked at it, so I'm going to go straight to the question first of all, rather than reading the whole text through. In the second paragraph, why was it difficult to see the dragon? So I'm going to go to my second paragraph that's here. I'm going to read this through and find out if I can work out why it was difficult to see the dragon. Let's highlight things as I go that may be relevant. Without warning, colossal explosions of flames erupted, shooting wildly in all directions. The vast inferno hid the monstrous dragon that now resembled a ferocious, erupting volcano. As it began to lurch forward, the ground trembled. Okay then, so I'm going to look through here then and give you a moment to decide if you can work out why was it difficult to see the dragon. Okay, I've highlighted a couple of things here. My first sentence talks about explosions of flames erupting. The second sentence calls it the vast inferno. Well, inferno is a big, huge fire. Hid the monstrous dragon. And at that point, my question says, why was it difficult to see the dragon? Then the dragon is behind something, isn't he? Or covered up by something, or is smaller than something. So we come back to that text there. What is the dragon hidden behind? What's he smaller than? That is the explosions of flames, isn't it? Erupting everywhere. So my answer then to the first question is, it is difficult to see see the dragon because it is hidden. I'm going to use the word from the text. So I've used the difficult to see the dragon part from my question to then form my answer. I needed because, and I've then used the hid word in the text to make my sentence because it is hidden by the enormous flames, or the vast inferno, whichever one you want to put as your answer there. That's the answer to the first question. Second question, we're looking for a word. It says find and copy one word that means to move suddenly. Well, what type of word is the word move? Okay, well, if Fred moved slowly, that's how Fred is moving. That's the action. It's the verb, isn't it? Move is a verb. So I'm looking for a verb that means to move suddenly or quickly. So I'm looking for a verb that means to move quickly. Take a moment to scan through the first two paragraphs. Can you find the word that means to move suddenly? Okay, let's go through and find the verbs. I'm going to highlight them in a different colour. The dragon was still and poised for attack. Well, poised would be ready for attack. So poised is a verb, but is that telling me he's going to move suddenly? Well, he will do when he's attacking, but not yet. He's ready to attack, isn't he? Let's go through. Where's the next verb? Slowly moved up and down with each furious breath. Okay, so the breath is making it move up and down. Again, the word move doesn't mean move suddenly. Let's move on. The eyes stared down. Does stared mean move suddenly? And the nostrils flared. Does that mean move suddenly? It could do. It is a movement, isn't it, when they're flaring? Let's keep going. Erupted. Erupted, the flames erupted. Is that move suddenly? Hid. The vast inferno hid the monstrous dragon that now resembled. Well, it has an ed ending. I know that's a verb. Resembled, that means look like. That's not moving suddenly. Resembled a ferocious erupting volcano. As it began to lurch forwards, the ground trembled. The ground trembling, that's not moving suddenly. It's sort of shaking, isn't it? Okay, look at my blue words that I've then highlighted. These are the ones we've got to look through, decide which one means move suddenly. Let's take them off when we don't think they're the right one. So poised, that means ready for attack. I wasn't moving yet. Moved, we said no. Stared, that's not a sudden movement, is it? That's quite an intense, long look, so that's not a sudden movement. So take him off there. Flared, we talked about that being moving, but is it a sudden movement? Well, a sudden movement would be sort of like a one movement, a quick one movement. Flaring, nostril flaring, is flared open and flared close and flared open and flared close. No, I don't think that's the right one. So it's definitely in paragraph 2. What have we got? Erupted, hid, resembled, lurch and trembled. I talked about trembled meaning shaking, so that's not a sudden movement. Okay, which of those 4 do you think is the right answer? We can eliminate hid, that's not moving suddenly, and resembled is looking like something else, that's not moving suddenly. It's between these two words, and actually there's a case to say that both of these could be the answer. Flames erupted, well, that's a movement, a sudden movement, and then as it began to lurch forwards, so the dragon was lurching forward. The actual answer to this question is lurch. It's like a sudden forward bolted movement quickly. As it began to lurch forwards, the ground trembled. So my answer would be then, I just need to copy. It says find and copy one word. Therefore the one word I'm going to copy is lurch. And now I've answered that question. Right, let's go to your task. The task for everybody, you have got the sheets given to you for the core, the extension and the simplified. Choose your sheet you're going to do. Those sheets have the questions that are linked to your ability level. The type of questions and the level of difficulty of them have been chosen for the 3 groups. So choose the sheet you're going to complete, read question, read the text to find the answer like I was modelling, and write down the answer to the questions, please. After the task, your final thought for today, there is a sentence in the book that says, for a little bedtime snack, try it again. For a little bedtime snack, the dragon said happily. The final thought today is, what will the dragon and Matthew eat? What do you think they're going to eat? I'll come back to it again tomorrow. Thank you, Year 3.